Welcome to my video about the musician's curse. Is there even any such thing as a musician's curse? Well, consider this. As a musician, you have no choice. You cannot opt out. If you turn that over in your mind a little bit, just think about it for a moment. The best for which one can hope is to completely immerse oneself in the art and craft and hope that there will be some level of satisfaction to be gained. And God help us if there's no fulfillment to be acquired. Music will be a constant thorn in our side. It will be a thirst which can never be satisfied. Refreshing. What is the difference between fate and destiny? The word destiny comes from an old French word which means purpose, intent, or fate. It has been used since the mid-14th century. Those are the 1300s. It's a Middle English word, and it is related to the Greek word referring to the deity of fate, the fates. Now, the English word fate comes from the Latin word fata. Fata means prophetic declaration of what must be, and is derived from the Latin word fari, which means to speak. However, in my estimation, fate is more closely related to the word fatal. The word fatal originates from the Latin fatalis, the universal principle or ultimate agency by which the order of things are presumably prescribed, the decreed cause of events through the course of time. In other words, fate, like death, is inevitable. Let us also take a look at the concept of lost or stolen souls, and one might be immediately tempted to say that's hyperbole. You're exaggerating. That's crazy. It's crazy. Well, what does the word soul actually mean? The word soul comes from Old English and is related to other Germanic and Baltic terms for the same idea. It is a translation of the Greek word psyche. So what is the essence of oneself? What is the representation of that essence which we present to the world? What is the symbol that we use to define ourselves? Of course, it's one's name. Now think about how many professional musicians use their birth name. Think about how many had their name legally changed. Can we extrapolate that such a person has lost or had their soul wrested from their grasp, at least symbolically? Lately, there has been an outcry against bands who claim to be playing live, actually syncing to pre-recorded tracks. Why would one do such a thing? Because one is incapable of reproducing that captured moment in time, and therefore they must rely upon trickery. But who is the real victim of such deceit? Those who paid to see a live show? Yes. And also the performers themselves, who have been coerced from the ownership of the capturing of that holy moment, which is now rendered illegitimate. Let us scrutinize the concept of perfection. Is it possible to play a musical idea with unintended results and still have that be regarded as perfect? Musicians do their best at all times, but never reach absolute perfection. Itzhak Perlman mentioned this in the documentary Art of the Violin, the Devil's Instrument. The difficulty of the instrument, the time and effort it requires to play something without a scratch. So much so that afterwards there is no time left for music. And what about musicians who hint at or openly reflect a connection to evil or satanic forces? Is it done merely to provoke an interest in their product? Or is it more than that? Have they promised an allegiance to infernal potencies in exchange for superhuman abilities? To be able to play perfectly under any conditions with a preternatural artistry.